Some people think all that makes a strong character is someone who is effortlessly better than everyone else. Some people also think Wakanda is a real place. Yeah, don't really feel like putting a lot of faith in some people. The strong independent woman character is the embodiment of the she don't need no man personality that modern female protagonists are required to have. They're usually depicted in a story as being exceptionally skilled in combat or having an unbreakable will. Never any moments of weakness, because female characters showing weakness is sexist, and the writing often makes a special point to not only highlight how unfathomably awesome she is, but specifically how much better she is than all the men around her. The character has become the gold standard for Hollywood writers who want to brag about having strong women in their movies. If one were to enter the entertainment industry, you'll find a flock of feminists rudely demanding more strong independent female characters, hereafter referred to as SIFs, to be shoehorned into modern media. And this is understandable. After all, the entertainment industry has become a huge pillar of modern culture. Some people find characters who share arbitrary characteristics with them to be necessary. And as you're likely surmising by now, some people can be pretty stupid. But what really turns things from understandable to irritating is the idea of the SIF itself, and how a SIF, according to feminists, is the only acceptable archetype for a strong female lead. But a character doesn't need to be good at everything or lack weaknesses to be strong. That would mean your average person could never make the cut. That would mean a normal person could never be a hero. And judging by how many movies exist that were inspired by real-life heroes, this is a lie. Strength is not something a character is. Strength is something a character has. Feminists would balk at, well, anything really, but especially a female character showing humanity. If she shows fear, the writer has made her weak. If she hates something about herself, that's the writer's public message that all women are insecure. Third-wave feminists have adopted a collectivist mindset. There's no room for individualism. They all think the same things, say the same things, hate the same things, and love the same things. Though that last point I can only present hypothetically. You might remember the Age of Ultron controversy that whipped up the feminist hate mob and forced Joss Whedon to leave Twitter. In his offense, it was revealed that Black Widow was made infertile upon her graduation from the Red Room. It was also revealed that she hated that about herself. A big no-no in feminist land. And for his crime, Joss Whedon, the guy famous for creating Buffy the Vampire Slayer, was barraged by a squad of female incels for sexism. And ironically enough, this little show of humanity, this display of vulnerability and weakness on Black Widow's part, made her a stronger character. And no, a character doesn't need to be an ace assassin or a mega genius. They don't even need to be confident. As strange as it sounds, it's a character's weaknesses that make them strong. Let me put it like this. Take two people. The first is always happy, lighthearted, and quick to forgive. The second is a person who's grim, foul, and slow to forgive. If you heard each forgave a person for a grievous wrongdoing, which do you think was the stronger character? The one who performed an easy action, or the one who performed a difficult one? Now pay close attention. That question is a lot more important than it seems, because that question is what sets the defining line between what makes an average character and what makes a strong one. Lifting something heavy is difficult, but someone strong can do it. Losing a loved one is devastating, but someone strong can take the loss and still do what needs to be done. When it comes to a character, any character, the willingness and the ability to overcome difficulty is what answers the question, is this character strong? So when Black Widow steps out to save the world, we know what kind of emotional weight she carries with her. We know what a burden it is and how much pain it causes her. We know how much she wishes things could be different. And then we watch her save the world anyway. Let's look at a few more examples. The 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider breathed new life into a floundering franchise. The world, story, and character had been reinvented with positive results. But the greatest change was with Lara Croft herself. This was supposed to be Lara during her early years when she was a novice. For those of you who've played the game, you'd know that this version of Lara isn't a Sith. Quite the contrary. She emotionally depends on several of her allies. She lacks confidence. She shows fear and confusion. She spends most of the game clearly getting in over her head, a point brilliantly emphasized by the instant death sequences. However, this new version of Lara Croft is not only interesting and relatable, but a much stronger character. She fought the henchmen, she raided tombs, she survived dozens of situations that would make most of us curl up and surrender, and it wasn't because she was fearless, and it wasn't because she was confident in her abilities, and it wasn't because she considered herself independent. It was because her character had the will and the strength to overcome those weaknesses and push her way through every challenge. Jack Bauer is known for his particular set of ethics. He's fiercely loyal to his country, so loyal that he'll do whatever it takes to accomplish the mission at hand. During 24 Season 1, Jack goes to great lengths to protect his kidnapped family, even potentially murdering one of his closest friends at that time. But when he was forced to choose between his family and the mission, he chose to protect a senator from assassination, knowing that his choice may have directly caused the deaths of his wife and daughter. And even before that, after Jack learned that his daughter had been kidnapped and his wife was stuck alone with an enemy agent, he was visibly shaken, but kept his mind focused. Knowing a loved one might be in danger with no way of knowing what's happening would likely paralyze most people, but not Jack Bauer. Not only did he choose to overcome these weaknesses, he never forgot his main mission. So, all at once, he was working to protect his family and protect the senator, all while the authorities were breathing down his neck and his own life was hanging in the balance. And finally, we have Mrs. BRISBY from The Secret of NIMH, the poster child for characters who spit in the face of the beloved feminist Sif. Like 2013 Lara Croft, Miss BRISBY is the opposite of the strong, independent woman. She's a housewife who's still devoted to her husband, although her husband is dead, which would probably give her a point in the feminist approval column if not for the fact that she's equally devoted to her children. And during the course of the story, she relies heavily on several male characters to help her along her journey, like Mr. Ages, Justin, and Nicodemus. Unthinkable for a Sif. In fact, having a female character rely on a man for anything would probably launch a pink-hatted hate mob, demanding the writer be fired. Miss BRISBY has very little confidence and is scared by almost everything around her. She's just an average person going through an extraordinary circumstance. What makes her a strong character, and more to the point, a strong female character, is her willingness and ability to fight back those fears, overcome her weaknesses, and stare death in the face to save her family. And again, just like Lara Croft, Mrs. BRISBY was thrown into a dire situation that would crush a lesser person. A situation where it would have been easy to let the fear overwhelm them, but they didn't, and that's what makes them strong. Feminists want more strong women in media. It's exactly what constitutes the word strong that sparks the real question. Feminists think turning women into men make them strong, but that isn't the right way to go. Strength is a trait, and like most traits, there is a counter trait to play its foil. Smart and dumb, big and small, strong and weak. Without its counter trait, the primary trait becomes meaningless. If no one is dumb, then no one can be smart. If no one is small, then no one can be big. If there is no weakness, then there is no strength.